See, if my math is correct, in revenue is a little over 30 grand. I have no money in my bank account and I was still doing cold calls. You talk differently than any other sales call I've been on. I think that's why my sales process got a lot better. And it was you that really helped give me that frame to be able to open up everything to really find exactly what I needed.
Alrighty, so I'm here with Tucker today. Tucker is helping out online coaches, and he's recently joined my program in the past month, a couple of months here. We scaled him up pretty quickly. Tucker's an amazing individual to work with, and yeah, we're just going to be going through how you're able to scale your business working with me. But first off, let's just kind of start off on like who you are, Tucker. If you can introduce yourself, and yeah, we'll start from there.
Cool. So just like kind of what I do and like why I'm here.
Yeah, just what do you do? Why you're here?
Cool. I mean, pretty simple enough. I really just kind of started with ads and how do I put this the best way? I always knew that ads are the best way to scale. And it's just who you wanted to work with. A lot of it was niching down to like a specific target. And first it was fitness trainers. Like when I first started working with you, it was online coaches specifically, but a lot of people hit them hard. So instead of going with the niche, I kind of went as a specific situation that they're in, and I talk directly to that. And you get a lot more people in that bubble who are super highly qualified, and you're still seen as that authority. So I kind of spun everything that I've really ever been told, and we scaled very, very quickly.
Yeah, so with Tucker, we worked a lot on the messaging and a few other things that we can touch on. He already knew how to like run ads. It was just dialing in like the positioning, the messaging, which was super important for him. And that's obviously something that I focus on a lot. For you, Tucker, though, if you could just kind of tell the audience that's watching this, how much have you made in the past 30 to 45 days with working with me?
30 to 45 days. Let's see if my math is correct. In revenue, which is all held up in subscriptions right now for over the next 6 months, is a little over 30 grand. Cash collected is around, how do I say, 13 grand according to my Stripe account.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. So before, you came working with me, if you could just kind of explain like the spot that you were in, maybe the things that you were trying before.
Yeah. Oh, it was a crazy first couple of calls that we had. I want to know if you can put that in this recording of those calls of me just like losing my marbles.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. That'd be funny. That'd be good for people to see like the mindset that you're at. But if you could just explain to them like where were you at in your head, in your business?
Oh, dude, it was so bad. Like I was doing cold calls still at that point. I think I recently this is like the hero story. Just got dumped. I have no money in my bank account, and I was still doing cold calls, and I couldn't get through a good cold call because I was just like not depressed, but I was down the dumps, and I was like, all right, no one's on my back telling me what to do. I need something. And we had a few calls, but yeah, it was doing cold calls. I think I was making 1,300 a month off subscriptions. I closed someone for 5 grand for a year. I just had to sell what I could. I needed cash in hand immediately. I sold someone for like 14 months of like ad services for 5 grand. So I needed cash, and that was on a subscription. And I was like, oof. So it was terrible for when we first met.
Yeah. How come you decided to go with me?
Dude, just the way that you talked. Like it wasn't only, how do I say this? You talk differently than any other sales call I've been on. And I think that's why my sales process got a lot better. Was because you just talked to me like bro to bro. In a sense. Like you changed my perspective and challenged a lot of my values in business and really wouldn't let me go back to that old identity that I had of doing cold calls. Like maybe that's like a pushy salesman, but realistically it needed to happen. And I kind of just ended up selling myself on it. I was like, I know I need to change. Yeah. And I really like the way that you talked.
Yeah, I think when it comes to sales, like one of the most important skills that you can learn is like being able to identify somebody's limiting beliefs that are holding them back.
For sure.
And I specifically remember with you, there was quite a few beliefs that we had to break I can't remember the exact beliefs. Obviously, some of it was around the cold calling,
Cold
like
calls. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cold calls, scaling as fast as I could.
yeah.
There was one more big one. I think it was just like my own self-belief,
Mm.
like in myself that we broke.
Yeah, yeah. I remember like you're just trying to do things by yourself, like what most people are kind of going through right now. Probably like if you're a coach and you're watching this, most coaches who are like stuck, they're just jumping around from thing to thing to thing. And it's just like you need to commit to one thing. And I think that was like the one belief that I really had to change you on. It's like you're not gonna find any real secret here in a YouTube video or, watching Instagram Reels all day. The way you find the secret is just by focusing on one direction that a coach who knows what they're doing gives to you.
Yeah.
That's a really important thing. And most people, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, their nervous system's all out of whack and they always think things are going wrong, which was kind of a big problem for you. But yeah, man, I remember those sales calls, breaking those beliefs, getting you on board and just kind of taking it from there. But can you just kind of describe your experience a little bit as far as, we got you on board. What kind of happened after that?
So we onboarded immediately, and I don't know if I was still losing my marbles at that point, if I was like constantly like messaging you, but I know from like week 1 to I think what are we? We're only in our second month.
Yeah, we're in like 2 months, maybe 2 months and a half.
That's what I'm saying. Like we're not far in at all. But I remember from the first week, from the literally probably 2 weeks ago, where it was because you only have spots open on Tuesdays and Thursdays for like client calls. I had a spot in those 2 days. Like I was constantly talking to you, and half the time it's about the same thing that we talked about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Like I don't know. It was still crazy. Like I still have belief, but I'm so thankful that you actually had that time, and we're just like you have to do this and stop booking on my calendar. Like the fact that you had that availability, and each time that I came in, you still gave me like guidance, was incredible. And I think realistically, that's why we're here so fast. Like you didn't give me a secret step. You challenged my beliefs and like what I was looking for. Because I want to say a lot of what we did helped me find a lot on my own by doing. And it was you that really helped like give me that frame to be able to open up everything to really find exactly what I needed.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to think when it came to like coaching that I've always had to like give somebody a secret key. And just thinking in that perspective, like didn't allow me to coach the best in the beginning. And then I realized like it's giving you the tools to think differently so you can do the work and figure out yourself in a way. Obviously I'm like giving you tidbits along the way that are helping, but it's like you can teach a man to fish, or you can, whatever that analogy is, I'm forgetting it, but whatever. Yeah, it's sort of like that. And that's kind of what we were doing with you. It's just kind of leaning more so in the direction of messaging. Was a big one, because like I said, you already knew how to run ads. It was just getting you to like focus on good messaging that gets the right person to the call and then staying on that track. But kind of curious to hear from you, like, what do you think maybe is the messaging? What do you think was like the biggest difference that allowed you to go from this place where you said you got dumped by your girlfriend? Did you dump her?
I dumped her because she didn't support the business. Like if I told her that I was doing this, she'd be like, "No, you can't do that. Like you don't have any money." I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna have any money anyway. Might as well try and learn something with no money then."
Yeah. So from you dumping her and then you going on with me, I know it's kind of hard to like wrap up into one thing, but like, what would you say was the big differentiator that got you to scale to where you're at now?
It was the one call that we had, and I remember this very specifically. You said you are a nobody right now, and that hurt. And then you're like, be controversial, be hated by like 4 people, like just go try it. Like I think what you really said was you're in the fuck around and find out stage. Go. So I did, and I just I dumbed myself down, took everything that I ever learned, and stopped using it. And I really focused on that messaging and just started messaging situationally instead of taking a niche or circumstances or financial qualifiers. It was exactly what situation is my ideal client in? How can I talk about that and how can I be beneficial to them? Because you said don't be a starter pack, be a booster pack. So I took all of that, and I guess I made really good positioning out of it. So it was that one call where you said be controversial, be hated.
Yeah, I think a lot of coaches are just way too vanilla with everything that they're doing, and it just causes you to blend in. I think Taki Moore like has a quote on this, like the most risky thing you can do is create non-risky content. Otherwise you're blending in with everybody. I remember that conversation with you, and you're like, I could tell like a little light bulb went off in your head. So for you, like talking about the situation the person is, why do you think that for ads, to make it clear for everybody, Tucker runs ads, kind of hitting the same people I'm hitting. And it's honestly one of the most challenging spaces to market into because everybody is marketing into this. But what about like just talking about their situation versus just the pain points makes the ads work?
My thought process is people know what you're selling, very sophisticated, very smart market. They already know. Like when we were hopping on a call and you're like, let me just help you out. I'm like, guy, it's a sales call. You're a business owner. Like I'm not stupid. They just want someone that they can trust. Like the trust crisis is real, but you don't need a 18-step follow-up nurture funnel to build trust. So if you talk exactly to what they're going through and what I guess someone said like the symptoms of what they're going through, you will cut through the noise. And it's the reason why compared to, I think it's your cost per call is like in the hundreds versus mine $60 for the same qualified prospect to hop on our calendars because they don't trust us. And if you can talk directly to what they're going through. So the way that I look at it is an online coach who just hit their first 10K a month organically, their situation is they hustled and they're going to burn themselves out in the hot second and they can feel it coming. So the solution to that is simple ads that you only have to run at $20 a day because a lot of people tell them it's $100 a day to run ads and you're not going to get results for the next 3 months. So we're just going to test. It's like, no. And you kind of just talk directly to that situation, what's already in their head.
Yeah, I think it comes back to like, if you can just say the exact words that are in their head, they're automatically going to trust you because the person who is able to speak like that in a way, like there has to be a connection already established because they understand the situation so perfectly that there's just no way this guy's like bullshitting.
Yeah.
Right. So understanding the situation and saying the words that are inside these people's heads is a fast way to build that trust. And that's another thing with too, like trust is obviously like really, really important in this space. I think one thing though that I'm beginning to even put into my marketing or really like leaning into is more so like building belief. Like trust can be a thing. Like your mother trusts you, right? Would she give you $10,000? Maybe, probably not. But if she believed that you were going to make $100,000 off of the $10,000 she would give you, she'd be running to the bank right away. So I think trust and belief are very like intertwined. I think belief is like the core thing of trust. And so speaking the right language, saying exactly like what their situation is and then providing a solution, like it builds that belief as well, which is really, really important. Talk to me about how important it is for you to kind of just like stick to one path. Because I know you coming in, like we had to do a lot of work around that. I want you to say it for the other people that are watching.
Oh yeah, I can talk about it because I say this in my sales calls too. It's like all the people are trying to do about it. I'm like, no, you need to stick to one thing because I always say it this way as well because a lot of people come to me like, oh, I'm working with another coach, but I just need help with ads. I'm like, okay, why aren't they helping you with ads? You need to. I always say niche your coach. That was a big video that I made, and it was if you're gonna hire a coach and they're really good at marketing, then you should only use them for your marketing so that you can get all the information that they have on that. Because once you start switching lanes, you're going to be like, oh, this is a good idea. I can use this for this. And then everything falls apart because the reason why, let's say ads worked so well was because you had a good cold traffic offer, your messaging was dialed, and your sales process was good. Now, if you're like, oh, my cold DM offer is working really well, let me launch that for ads, completely different thing. they're made for two different scenarios. And when people try and, I guess, like really blend those together, it never works. And I really say that a lot for ads in your content. Like your best performing content will not work for ads. And I'm a big advocate of that. Two different scenarios.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, I think people who start off organically, like the reason why they can't master ads is because they don't understand like conversion.
Yeah.
Right. Like they're playing this game of vanity metrics, trying to go viral, whereas playing this game of conversion, it's called direct response ads. Like you're trying to get a direct response from that. From organic, you're just trying to, maybe get a follow, but really just nurture people or bring new people in. They're not taking a hard action like they would on an ad. So I think it's a completely different way of creating content. It's conversion content. So that's a really good point. But yeah, so when you came in, I remember just trying to, and sometimes you still do this a little bit as we get to scale up. It's like just sticking to one path. That to me is so important. Like, what's like the metrics of your ads right now? Because they're super fucking low, right?
Yeah. So I just launched a new campaign. We just went to Learning Limited, so I'm now going back to re-recording, and I'm still running them at $20 a day. So they're still crushing it at a low budget.
And you just got a sale yesterday too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I look back at my calendar. I've had a sale a week for the past, I think, 5 weeks now.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's actually been insane. I have $60 qualified book calls on my calendar because my ads are sprinkled with situational, I guess, qualification logic, just in the wording, to where I know in the first 5 minutes whether you have money or you don't. And to me, a qualified lead, and this is a big, I think, misconception and a big belief, that a qualified lead is a lay down sale, and they're not the same thing at all. A qualified lead is someone who has a problem, knows they need a solution, and has the money to basically pay for that solution.
Yeah. They're aware and they want to kind of like move forward on paying for that solution. With the metrics and everything, you were still kind of like coming to me almost every call being like, I think things are going wrong. I need to switch some things.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, talk to me, because I feel like you know it now.
Yeah.
I think every time you came to me, you're like, bro, I think like we need to switch some things up. I'm like, no, dude, just like stick to the same path. Like, I still kind of want to go back to that. Like, how important and what was like the shift for you to like, all right, I just need to stick to one thing.
Okay.
And scale up with that.
Yeah. So sticking to one thing, especially with the ads, was big zooming out, right? Because I think everyone, that's like, oh, delayed gratification, like big Alex Hormozy method, I guess. But when that gratification comes and it's not consistent, people start to freak out. So it's zooming out and understanding the one thing. So we'll stick with ads because that was what my situation was. So when I kept trying to change the ads, I was trying to bring in different aspects of different things because it's a lot of inflation in the market. Like, oh, this client scaled from $0 to 70,000 in 4 weeks. It's like, oh, why couldn't I do that? It's like, no, those are inflated. And then a lot of people want to get those results, but they're not building those blocks to scale to get those results. And they try and switch too quickly before actually understanding what's happening at this block.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you got to build the foundation. Everybody thinks it can happen in 30 days. That was something I kind of had to like rewire you on. Like, the more that you can take that zooming out approach, like, hey, this is not going to happen until another like 5 years, the better your decision making gets.
That crushed me too. When you said that, I was like, dude, I just paid you for 6 months. What do you mean 5 years? I was about to call my bank that, yo, give me that back.
Yeah, charge back.
I was like, charge that back.
Yeah.
And you like really broke it down because yes, the market's sophisticated, and this is gonna suck, but everyone's still an idiot. Like, yes, I knew you were selling me, but I was still an idiot on what your process was. So until you broke that down, like, no, once you get away from the actual outcome, the situation gets a lot better. And my sales process has literally, like, my closing percent has probably doubled since I've just taken myself out of the actual outcome.
Yeah, like just detaching makes better decisions. That's another thing, like sales calls. Like, that was another shift for you as well. You like just detached from the sales call, like you needed the sale like today, and
Yeah.
you ended up doing the right things on the call, saying the
Mhm.
right things to close the deals, which is huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, just like detaching from the outcome. A lot of coaches are way too like, I don't know, I would say like schizophrenic as far as hopping from one thing to the next thing,
Yeah.
which kills your business. It's like
Oh,
starting and stopping an engine every single time.
mhm.
And a lot of people, this is another thing I talk about a lot, like funnel hacking. No, you need to be funnel fixing. Like
Yeah.
do one funnel, run some ads, see what's going on with those ads, but then begin to build upon them, fix the funnel, fix the copy, and do that. And be willing to do that for like months after months after
Yeah.
months, and not be like, okay, I did a VSL funnel. Let me switch to a DM messenger funnel because the VSL funnel wasn't working. It's like, no, they all work,
Yeah.
uh, which is huge. But yeah, man, I kind of want to go back to the messaging because that was like something that we worked on a lot. What other, like, just for the audience, other kind of like tidbits that you kind of discovered as far as doing the right messaging? I know the situation is a huge one. Is there anything else that's in there that you discovered?
In the messaging, not really. I mean, except for like the direct call out ads, they don't work. Like, oh, if you're an agency doing 20K per month, I wanna no, like those ads don't work anymore. Like we talked about this a lot, and I have a big video that just went out about my predictions for 2026. I know you and me talk about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of coaches are going to be running ads because content just dried up like super quickly, and a lot of people are scraping for that new way to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
And without a big brand like Ava's or Alex Hormozzi's, you're kind of cooked. I
Yeah.
hate to say it. And a lot of people are going to run ads like they were taught probably like 3 years ago, and it's changed so much. So just being real with people, like not only are my ads super situational, but they're professionally unprofessional. They're
Mm-hmm.
short, slightly bad camera quality, and just captions, and it's done purposely.
Yeah, it's like a pattern interrupt.
Mhm.
Like everybody in the space is saying, coaches, I can get you to 20K a month, and they're doing like fancy editing. They're in a studio in their
Mhm.
office. You really switch up the gear where you're outside, super fucking simple. Kind of, I don't want to use the word cheesy because that's not it, but just a little like downgraded in quality. But it's a
Yeah,
pattern interrupt. It gets people interested.
yeah, and they're good quality clients too. Like
Yeah.
very good quality. It's like surprising what like era of the market we're in right now.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. It's like we're in a very sophisticated market,
Mhm.
but yeah, if you just say the right things, you get the right quality person to show up,
Yeah.
willing to also like just want to work with you, which is cool. Going back to one thing I'm kind of curious on. So we don't have to talk about it. It could be a little too personal. So the whole girlfriend thing, like talk about like relationships in the business. I think that'd be interesting for the
This
audience.
this is something that I really like have been focusing on now because I'm closing my case study probably in the next 2 weeks,
Mm,
and I'm gonna focus on the clients, and then that's my next step of my marketing funnel is
mm,
just authority marketing. Dating in business is if they don't understand, it's I don't want to say it's terrible, but it's hard on both ends because when things went bad, and I'll say this, I wasn't the man that I should have been when things were bad. Immediately once my bank account was low, I was insecure. I couldn't show up the way that I wanted to. And obviously we were young. So it was hard for her to be in her feminine and support me through that.
mm,
So it's hard for someone else to understand when you don't really understand how you can take those challenges and kind of roll with them. Like when your bank account's low, how do you still show up?
mm,
And I did everything the wrong way. I stopped going to the gym. I was just cranky all the time. Like, I'm not gonna say that, you know, I was a perfect person,
mm,
but it's hard to be that person to run a business, start it up, especially because I was still doing cold calls, and I'd be like, okay, I have $1,000 this month. This covers me for like a month and a half, and I have to do cold calls again and make sure that they get good results.
mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely hard. And if they don't support you, you have to like know that early. Like
Yeah.
there was warning signs before all this that like you probably should leave.
A lot of things that like you can avoid and like relationships is just like choosing the right person. That
Yeah.
avoids a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, kind of what you're talking about. Like for you, like I even went through that situation before. Having a relationship, scaling a business, it's very tough to manage.
Yeah.
You almost kind of like have to go through it, just like you have now. Like you have the insight, like okay, next time this does happen, here's how I need to act.
Yeah.
And you have the tools to get out of it too, which is really cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, usually when people are in that decision or in that situation, I made a video on this the other day too. Like you just like delegate leadership to your girl, and you can't delegate that leadership.
Yeah.
You're in that spot where you're waking up and the first thing you're thinking about is money and business. Like you're in
Yeah.
that spot. I know it's like,
Mhm.
and you're doing all these decisions, you're making all these crazy decisions in your head. You're thinking a lot about your business but you forget to think about decisions for your relationship
Yeah.
and leading that relationship,
Oh yeah.
which is really, really important. And that's kind of why like most dudes, like they kind of fall off in the relationship is because they delegate it. They delegate the leadership.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it's really bad. Like you made a big video about like a feminine and masculine. Like I was actually reading The Way of the Superior Man, 'cause that's what I'm starting to read now.
mhm.
Like it's crazy. Like yeah, I had the mission, but I forgot about like bringing someone along, which
Mhm.
wasn't allowed her to go in her feminine, and inevitably she stopped supporting. Like she stopped supporting me. I mean, obviously there were other signs, but what I noticed, like they didn't give her the opportunity to re-support me.
Mm.
So you have to find that balance, and obviously, like you said, it's just gonna happen. Like especially if it's your first one, it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, let's switch over to kind of like the plan for you to go forward because we talked a little bit about that.
Mhm.
I want the audience to hear it because I think it's really important. The things that we are going to be doing with you, as far as I'll let you speak on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think the plan going forward. This is where a lot of like coaches who coach coaches really mess up with their clients is they just keep on telling them to scale. But if you could just tell everybody
Yeah.
kind of the plan we have set forward for you, that's going to allow you to really just explode your business.
So I haven't told you my plans. I've been thinking about this. I was gonna say this for a call, but I'll kind of sprinkle this in here.
Let's sprinkle it in there.
Yeah. So the plan is I just want to get 6 clients, and I really want to take them to either their first 10K a month or 30K a month in the next 6 months. And I've done it, so I know it's possible. So I want to help them with their messaging and get them there. Obviously if they don't get to 30, they don't get to 10, they're gonna see results. And that's really all we want. We want the results for an authority marketing after those 6 months.
Mm.
So in that meantime, it's just building the brand page. It's building the YouTube funnel. It's building the content system, the smaller short form content on Instagram, which I really mainly use for nurture.
Mm.
And I'm not really still going to go viral with it, but it's mainly going to be YouTube funnels. And in the meantime, I'm still going to run ads. And my goal is a small monthly community where I put all the insights into the community about what I learned in the case study to have a little bit extra cash flow in the back. And then after that, I'll reopen my case study program from those people that are in that small community as just a long nurture process over the 6 months.
Yeah, I think just the important thing for you is it's kind of closing up shop for a little bit.
Mhm.
So you can focus on your clients. Like that's so huge.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be able to market your business better than your own clients.
Yeah.
A big shift for me, and it wasn't like this in the beginning, to be honest. Like I never really saw my clients as assets. I saw them as liabilities.
Mm.
And even just like having that in your mind, you start to make bad decisions. You start to go down this route of, let me just scale. I need more people in, more people in. When I really just needed to take a step back and focus on my clients because they are assets at the end of the day. You could turn them into assets if you get them a good testimonial. So that's where I really want you to focus on is closing up, doing good for your clients. Because I know in another month, 2 months, once you start getting results for people, and it doesn't take that long, that's going to even make your ads perform better or anything really that you're doing perform better. And then while that's closed up, it's just mainly like the lead thing sounds good, like generating those leads, that small community, anything that you can do to just continue to like capture leads, nurture people, keep them in that ecosystem, if you will, is going to be important for you. But I think the real thing is just, and I want to let the audience know, is like just closing up shop for a little bit is okay. You don't have to be scale, scale, scale all the time. I think a lot of people get that wrong. Like this space, it's actually fairly easy to make money once you know what you're doing. But when getting to another level, there's different things that you have to do. And if you just say yes, yes, yes to everybody, that means you're saying no to other things because you only have a certain amount of time in the day. And saying yes to your current clients right now is the most important. That's going to do you much. It goes back to like thinking long term. That's the ultimate long-term decision you can make, is say no to some money and say yes to your clients. But yeah, man, actually, let me ask you this question. Like, anybody on the fence, who's on the fence working with me, what would you say to those people?
If they're in my situation and they're probably skeptical, they're like I'm saying exactly my situation. You have to trust it. It's like I can't give them an exact answer of like why they should go with you, because obviously I don't know their business. So it's like, okay, what problems are going to be solved? But you have to trust it if it's not business related, because mainly what it is just, it's your own mental. You're in your own head. And really what we worked on a lot was getting out of that and opening up my perspective. And I think that's what a lot of people need. So like if they're on the fence, they're more focused on like business oriented. They're in the right spot, but they need to mainly work with you to just kind of just open up their mind more. I know it's probably not what people want to hear, but I think it's needed.
Well, yeah, I think it just kind of goes back to like the greatest ROI is going to be investing into yourself. And it's really transforming that fear. Like everybody has fear.
Yeah.
Getting into a program, all that stuff. You don't know what's going to happen inside. Everybody has that fear, but it's more transferring that into faith and making it work. And that's what like ultimately I would say you did at the end. You kind of just accepted it, the fact like, okay, I invested in this program. I'm going to do the things that Brett tells me to do, and I'm going to have faith in it. And that's a huge piece to the puzzle that is what's making you successful right now. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Any kind of like final advice for people before we wrap this up?
I guess I can give advice for, I guess, everything that we talked about. At least one tidbit. If you're running ads, you don't need to run ads at $100 a day. Start with 20, understand the numbers.
Yeah.
Big I say, just dial in your messaging. Everything works. Relationships, work on yourself first, and like know the warning signs. Like realistically, I should have gotten out of that relationship earlier because there was a lot of warning signs when everything was really well for myself. So know the warning signs, but also work on yourself, and then just work on your mental. Like trust a product. If you're gonna invest money, don't think about it as money. Think about it as energy. Because when's the last time you picked up a free lead magnet, and when's the last time you actually used it? Like that's what I always say. I'm like, you're not going to use a free lead magnet because you don't see value, because there's no energy exchange there. So what I always say is worst case scenario, either ask for a refund or write it off as a tax write-off. But the truth is, if it doesn't work, it's something about you, because you wouldn't be here if you were a scammer, is what I always say. I'm like, someone who's running ads isn't going to scam, because you have to think long-term with ads. So that's all my advice for everything that we really talked about.
Cool, man. I love it. Well, dude, great talking to you on this little pod here. And it's been a pleasure working with you, honestly. And I'm excited to see like you grow to the next levels in your business. And I know another 2, 3, 6 months down the road, we're going to be shooting another one. We're at like 50K to 100K a month.
We should do like a retreat or something.
Ooh, dude, talk about that for a second. Like how important is it to be, because I know like another thing that once you started making money, you're kind of like, the people around me just don't understand what's going on. Like how important
this was a good topic. We talked for like 2 hours about this.
Yeah.
This was crazy.
How important it is to be like around people who are doing the same thing as you.
Oh, it's so important. Like most of the times that I book now is just to chat. It's like really just to almost hang out for an hour, because I'm like, no one else understands this. It's so important, because when I first joined, I talked to Hamza, I talked to Mark, I talked to Jamil. I'm like, how are you guys doing this? I think it's my first week too. Like I expected to make 10K in my first week, which was but no, it's just when you're around people that are actually making money and running, you're forced to at least jog to try and keep up. And that's what I had to do. Like, they all understand it. I'm like, I remember when this happened on the sale. And it's like, it feels good to conversate about winning. Almost like, I remember this prospect on the sale was awful, and they all chime in. Like, it's good because then you can go off at like, this is what I would have said. It's like,
Yeah, like one of the things I'm gonna begin to talk about a lot is like changing your own identity.
Yeah.
Like you need to have like I call it like a CEO level identity.
Mhm.
And one way to change identity, like information is a piece to that puzzle that changes identity. But as we know, that doesn't 100% change identity because, like you said, how many lead magnets have you downloaded? Maybe you went through some of them, but you haven't changed, right? So
Yeah.
information alone doesn't do that. One thing that does is just being surrounded by other people who are successful in winning. Something about that, the frequency in the conversations, the high level things that you're talking about, the things that other people help you out with as far as solving problems, like it's another thing that causes identity change. So it's really cool that we're building a community here and other people are kind of like helping you out a little bit. But yeah, man, this was a great interview. Great talking to you. Excited for the future.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can wrap it up here, man.